Hey, what's up, guys? First off, I want to start by wishing everyone a happy belated 4th of July. Hope you guys all had amazing food, watched some parades, honored this great country, and all that good stuff. But of course, being the horror fan I am, on July 4th, I was checking out the premiere of Stranger Things Season 3. So I'm going to be doing this review a little bit differently. For the first few minutes, I'm going to be talking about spoiler-free things, so if you don't really care about that, and if you've already seen the season, you can fast forward to the section where I do talk about the spoiler stuff. And for the people who haven't seen Season 3 but don't really care if it's spoiled, tune in too. Stranger Things Season 3 originally was supposed to come out last year, but the Duffer Brothers came out and said, we need a little bit more time to work on the CGI, the script, and we're just tweaking some things. It takes time. And in my opinion, it completely paid off. Stranger Things Season 3 takes place, well, I guess you'd say a whole freaking school semester later. It takes place in the summer of 1985, the end of June actually. The new Starcourt Mall moved into Hawkins, and it put a lot of small business owners out of business. So as far as characters go, I'm going to paint you guys a little picture. Mike and Eleven, as hinted at the end of Season 2, are in a relationship now. Things are good. And the same thing can be said for Lucas and Max, as hinted at the end of Season 2. So Joyce Byers in this season, Will's mom, is basically getting over the fact that we lost Bob last season. And Hopper's arc is the best from the start because he's trying to get used to the whole fact that Mike and Eleven are dating now. The kids are growing up way too fast and he doesn't really like it. I mean, what parent would? Dustin is returning home from summer camp. He's been gone for a month. And Will, he's kind of just getting used to the fact of being normal for once. He's been possessed, he's been taken over, he's been in the upside down. So finally, he can breathe, so he just wants to be a normal kid and do all the things he missed. Nancy and John work at this newspaper company. Nancy is an aspiring journalist, and John takes all the photographs. Who would have thought? Steve is working in the Starcourt Mall now because after high school, he didn't really know what to do with his life, so he got a job. And last but not least, Billy, Mad Max's older brother, is getting his MILF on. I'm going to start off by talking about the obvious first aspect of this season, friendship. These friends aren't the perfect group of friends anymore. It's not like they hate each other, but people are in relationships. They have summer camp, so they're going their separate ways. They're still going to keep in contact, but back in the 80s, you couldn't text someone. We've all been at a point in our lives where people just aren't as available anymore. People are coming, people are going, in relationships, out of relationships. They have bigger events and bigger things to do when they get older. And for a few different reasons that I won't really talk about, I think it's really cool that these friends aren't together for the good part of this season. They're all in their separate arcs. I also think it's really cool that Max and Eleven's relationship has evolved. They can have the girl talk now that they want to because they're both in relationships, so they can just gossip about boys. Max takes Eleven to the mall for a treat yourself day, and Eleven discovers this newly found confidence. And I think her character is so well written this season because in the first season, she's very quiet. She barely ever says anything, and you don't really relate to her too much. Season 2, she gets a little bit more on our level. You can tell she's starting to develop a little bit of social skills. And now in Season 3, she's just about there. She's just about on everyone else's level as far as social skills go. Because let's be honest, we get so many movies and TV shows where we have a fish out of water scenario, and they get used to the new environment within like a week. Alright, so Lucas's sister actually has a bigger arc in this season than she had. She's really a background character in the first 2 seasons. She sort of is with this to some extent, but later on she becomes a bigger thing. And I'm honestly not sure how I felt about her character because I can see if someone in real life has had a younger sibling or anything like that that has just always been a pain in the ass. You still love them, but you're trying to act cool, you're trying to be with your friends, and your little sibling just does nothing but bother you. It would be super annoying. I personally don't have a younger sibling, just an older brother, so her character wasn't terrible. I mean, she did contribute to the main plot. She did help some of our main characters. But I don't know. There's just something that tells me that Lucas and his sister won't necessarily work together in future seasons. So it's the mid-80s, and just like the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things, this season is no exception. The music scene is great. And this scene probably has one of the best soundtracks for the entire series. I mean, it's 1985. We freaking get a cover of My Sharona by Weird Al, one of his first songs. The CGI this season is crazy. I mean, certain creatures we see in this season look better than any modern Hollywood film. It only makes sense. This is Netflix's biggest show out there. You know they're going to shell out whatever the Duffer Brothers need for this. So without giving anything else away, this season in a nutshell, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll tap your feet to the beat, you'll just feel overall nostalgic when you see all this stuff. There's a specific scene where Billy's sitting on the chair as a lifeguard and he has an icy cup, like one of those red and blue striped cups you'd see with the polar bear on it. The lengths they went to make this season so accurate, not even with the big references, but the smallest, littlest ones too, really counts. And honestly, out of all 3 seasons so far, this one's my favorite. Okay, I couldn't hold it in any longer. Now I'm gonna be diving into the spoiler section of this review. If you don't want anything spoiled, turn away now. Okay, so first off, I wanna say, the character arc between Dustin, Robin, and Steve is probably one of my favorites I've seen in all 3 seasons. Steve is still such a mom, and it's so great to see. But I really like how his character evolved. We got this pretty boy asshole from the first season, and now we know him as, I guess you would say, a little bit of a loser. Him and Robin, the other girl at Scoops Ahoy, are having this game, which, funny enough, I actually played with when I worked at Zoomies, a skateboarding shop. We would actually have a tally mark. Guys who would get girls' numbers or hit on them, strike out, hit or miss. It's the past, whatever, but I wasn't in first place, but I definitely got some tally marks. Steve in this situation is striking out. He's really mad because the Scoops Ahoy hat is messing up his hair and he thinks that's what's messing up his chances with these girls. And then Dustin points out, no, you idiot, the freaking girl of your dreams, the best one out of all these dumb chicks to keep coming up to the counter, is right in front of you. She's working with you, Robin. And even though Steve is the cool guy at the end of the season, we really find out that he's just one of us. I mean, he goes to get a job at the video store with Robin. Robin's a natural. She knows all of these videos. She's a super nerd at heart. And Steve is just freaking clueless. But he's going to do anything with Robin. Okay, let's just talk about the Russians. So we get classic 80s and 90s movie moments with this plot arc. We get David Harbour and Winona Ryder trying to disguise themselves as Russian spies to blend in and infiltrate this base. We get this Russian bounty hunter dude who goes toe-to-toe with Hopper, and he's definitely an homage to the Terminator. He's like the Russian Terminator in this one, basically. It's a clear homage to that specific movie franchise, but it doesn't really stray away from the Stranger Things aspect, so it still feels like its own thing and blends in with the rest of the Russian group. 2/3 into the way of the season, when they finally reveal what the Russians' plan was the entire time, holy shit, that's ridiculously smart, working with the mayor to get all this land and snatch it all up. So branching off of how accurate this show is with nostalgia, like I was talking about the icy cup from earlier, so we have Back to the Future as one of the movies in this film, and they show clips from it. They actually got the rights to do it. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, like, I wonder when Back to the Future was released in theaters. Sure enough, Back to the Future came out July 3rd, 1985. Like, I knew it came out in 85, just not what day or month. But literally, it came out a day before the last day in this season. I mean, that's freaking accurate. And we have poor Steve and Robin high off a truth serum or whatever the Russians gave to them, and they're trying to piece together what the hell happened in that movie. Mike and Eleven's arc I like because they spend so much time together, and Hopper scares the shit out of Mike, and basically Mike can't see 11 anymore. They break up, and so, like I said earlier, they have girl time. They have a treat yourself day. And a lot of the aspects of this show are so freaking relatable when we were mid-teenagers, because we've all had that time where we were trying to win someone back, or we all had that time where we're just like, you know what, screw that, I'm not even going to think about them, this day is all about me. And poor Will, he was one of my favorite characters this season because, yeah, he could have gotten a little bit more to do, but he's dealing with the fact that he basically missed out on the past 2 years of fun. So he's trying to play D&D with Mike and Lucas, and they're just feeling preoccupied. He dresses up in his wizard garb, which is awesome, and he's really into the game, and all these guys want to do is just think about something else. Like, I felt so bad. He wants to play D&D like they used to, but 2 years have gone by now, and Will just doesn't seem to realize it. He didn't even get a chance to grow up, and his other friends are basically lapping him at this point. So obviously there's so many positives, so I just want to talk about a few negatives and little gripes I have with the season. We have the kid's teacher, Mr. Clark. He's in this season for about like 5 minutes, which is understandable because they're not in school, but I don't know, I feel just like Joyce could have gone to the library or something else for that. I feel like his character was kind of just shoehorned into here and didn't fit. Still cool to see him and all, but I don't know. This felt weird to me. I don't know if it's just me, but have you noticed that Eleven's powers are a little bit inconsistent this season? Because there's certain scenes where she's doing her thing, she's going into the upside down, she's having a vision or whatever, and her nose starts bleeding. Okay, that's normal. She takes a mind flayer and whops him against the wall side to side, shoots him out the window. Her nose starts bleeding. But later on in the season, multiple times, you see her just screaming and like ripping one of the mind flayers' heads open, and it doesn't affect her at all. Like, she's fine. She seems a lot more OP in certain scenes, and they don't have any after effects or anything like that. You would think that would drain a lot out of someone. Okay, and the last thing that was a little bit of a gripe to me is you have the mind flayer, and you had him inhibit Will last season, and now he's taken over Billy and multiple other people. Like, this whole taking over bodies, like Invasion of the Body Snatcher, mind manipulation kind of thing, is getting old to me. Like, at least they did multiple different people this season, so it's a little bit different than season 2. But I hope they go some sort of different route next season. That was all the gripes, really. I mean, it didn't really take away from how much I freaking loved this season. I was really surprised we got a freaking Bob cameo. I mean, I didn't think Sean Astin would come back. I mean, obviously, it was a dream. But still, it was really nice to see that moment of happiness with him and Joyce once more. Like I said, my favorite arc was Steve, Robin, and Dustin. And holy crap, Dustin actually does have a girlfriend. And dude, the last episode with them, and it was great. She came in just in the nick of time. And you know what? Contrary to what I thought about Lucas's sister, I feel like Dustin's girlfriend could definitely be a bigger character next season. So let's talk about the people we lost, unfortunately. Alexei, poor guy. I was like just starting to like this dude. He was super goofy and likable. I mean, he didn't really like what he was doing to begin with, and he didn't even really know what was going on. He just a little bit, just enough so that people get information out of him, but he just wanted to live life to its fullest. He's essentially just a simple dude from Russia, drinking his Slurpees, winning in his carnival games, and then Russian Terminator dude just wastes him. And unfortunately, after Alexei, we lost Dacre Montgomery's character, Billy, and I was really upset to see him go because we got all this backstory as to why he is the way he is. Him and Max, we got really invested into their characters this season. Obviously, we're going to see more of Max, but Billy, it doesn't seem likely. Billy gets his heart ripped out, or his chest, or his face. Something with the front of his body got ripped out, and at the last minute, he showed some goodness in his heart and protected Eleven. I mean, oh, come on. Why did you have to take him away from us? Okay, so Hopper, he throws Russian Terminator dude into the gate machine, blows it up, and for some odd reason, like, my friends are telling me, like, since the gate machine was blowing up that he couldn't make it back to Joyce. But I mean, the path looked pretty clear to me. I don't know. I think they just did it for dramatic effect, which felt like a little bit of a cop-out to me. But he just kept staring at Joyce for like a minute. And then once you see the explosion, apparently if you freeze frame it, he's not there. So I wonder if we're going to have some crazy like Red Skull type plot arc with this. Like Hopper got saved by that energy and just thrown in the upside down. And now it's up to the kids to get him back next season. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I don't know. As far as hopes and predictions go for season 4, I could take it or leave it if Hopper comes back. I loved his character. But poor Joyce, I mean, she's lost every single man she's ever loved. Like, maybe at least bring Hopper back somehow so they can be together in the end. And to me, it would just make sense that the 4th season takes place during Christmas, because they teased that a little bit at the end of this season, but we've had Halloween time, we've had 4th of July, so we've had fall, we've had summer, so why not winter, Christmas time? Now, in the mid-credits scene, spoilers if you guys didn't know, but there is a mid-credits scene on episode 8. We get the Demogorgons. They're back apparently. Maybe Hopper is in one of those Russian prison cells. Maybe he transferred over there somehow. Obviously, we didn't see him, but who knows? I honestly just want to see an all-out war, like hundreds of Demogorgons, and then the kids recruit all these other adults and maybe other kids to have this ridiculously high-budgeted creature war. If not for season 4, then save it for season 5. Wait for the kids to get a little bit older. And I hope they ended at season 5 too. Not that any of the seasons have been bad, but it's a big coming-of-age story, so you gotta figure they'll come of age in season 4 and 5. They're almost adults now. Some of them are adults. Final thoughts, guys. I loved season 3. Every single character in this season was really good. The only ones I wasn't really too crazy about were Nancy and John. It's not like they were terrible or anything like that, but their arc wasn't that really interesting to me. I mean, Nancy is just having her ideas shot down by all these dickhead corporate assholes. John, I don't know. I've never really liked John's character. Like, he was always this quiet emo dude. I don't know. He's just not very likable in my opinion. But all of these characters, besides those two and Lucas's little sister, did a really great job. Their arcs were spectacular this season. And you just know the Duffer Brothers are going to get something huge after this show ends. Movie deals, all these other TV show offers, you know it's coming. So next season, I mean, like I said, it could require more CGI like this one, and why not release it for Christmas 1986? That's the setting it'll take place in. It'll come out Christmas 2020. I can wait a year and a half for some quality entertainment. They did it for this season. I'm excited to see what new threats coming in season 4. I'm excited to see where the characters will end up being in the next season. I'm excited to hear new music, see great special effects, and all around just be brought back to the world of Hawkins. Stranger Things Season 3 gets a 9.5 out of 10.